Sean Finnegan, on the subject of hardcore first-person shooters, I want to talk to you about Counter-Strike, which got a really fun winter update this week.
Yeah, so yesterday we had the patch go live, and a whole bunch of changes, included, but the one that's stealing all the headlines is the addition of a new pistol that replaces the Deagle.
Halo pistol, right? Basically.
Basically.
Even more egregious.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't say Halo on a PC podcast.
It came out on PC. Thanks, Gearbox.
The gun is called the R8. It's a revolver, like
the
a
Mazda,
six-shooter.
is it made by Mazda?
I wish. When I went,
that's RX. No, Audi. Sorry, Audi.
You just fire a bunch of cars.
RX-8.
When I heard about the update,
I gotta get my cars.
When I heard the update, I went to Twitter and was like, "R8," and
you got
search, and I found a whole bunch of cars, and I was like, "That is not what I was looking for."
Not even close.
But yeah, it has 8 shots in the main chamber, and then 8, so total of 16 shots. The thing that is crazy about it, but from a design perspective, is it's the first gun in Counter-Strike to have 2 functions. Like, you can fire it with a left mouse button or a right mouse button, and doing so changes the way it works. The left mouse button is something you charge, and it takes a second to fire off, but if you do use that function, it one-shots at any distance, so it doesn't have to be a headshot.
Let me stop you right there. Before we even get into, because I know where this conversation's going.
Yeah.
If we stop right here,
oh, yeah.
doesn't that already break the game if it's like the only gun in the game that has multiple functions?
It's also like there are so many extra conditions that make this even more insane. It's like the AWP is like $4,750 to buy in the middle of a game. And that's like well more than half the funds you start with.
Yep.
So...
And this costs $850.
$850.
It's the most expensive pistol, but it is as effective as an AWP for literally a fraction of the cost.
In terms of like, it shoots through materials, it pierces players, like it goes through guys. You can kill 5 guys in one shot.
It has the same damage and the same pierce as an AWP.
Is that mathematically the same?
Yeah, it's
at least like
if you
very
look
comparable.
If you look at the patch notes, it's supposed to have armor piercing at 97.5%, which is the same as the AWP. It was actually implemented wrong, and currently in game it has 93%. So technically it's doing less damage than it's supposed to, and it's still wrecking everyone.
So the R8 is like buying a Samsung HD TV, and the AWP is like spending the money for the Sharp Aquos. You're getting the same performance for way less.
It's really crazy.
Really nuts.
The worst part about it is like it not only is the gun really, really powerful, but it ruins kind of the meta, which is like this. There's this whole sort of, in competitive matchmaking in Counter-Strike, there's this whole sort of economy management system where,
rounds.
Yeah, as a team, you're supposed to buy and save at the same times in order to maximize your chance at winning. Because if you're all saving or all buying, that actually helps your team defeat the other team, right? This makes that unpredictable because even if you destroy the other team's economy, they can still arm or pistol, which is called ecoing, and but now you have this insanely strong pistol that allows you to win more often than not. It's been quite literally game breaking.
So Sean, you're the Counter-Strike expert.
Yeah.
So literally, this is not a troll question. Whose idea was this? And why? And is Valve gonna have to do something about it?
I mean, they're gonna have to, right? So if you go on Twitch right now, or if you jump into competitive matchmaking, you can immediately see.
Thanks Counter-Strike Reddit for automatically playing music.
You can immediately see that everyone is using this gun basically nonstop because it's the only thing you need. The other thing is that not only is this gun, to go back to my previous thought, which is just to round it out, not only is the gun itself like really, really overpowered, but it's that in combination with the other patch changes, which are nerfs to the core guns of the game.
And lots of people think the conspiracy theory right now is that this pistol's in here as this diversion from the other updates. Because like they nerfed a bunch of rifles, like the M4 and the AK got big nerfs that they didn't really need. There's new bomb timers that affects competitive play from here on out.
Also round timers.
Except the ESL tournament is actually playing on a previous patch because they're like, nope,
this patch is so egregious. The biggest competitive league in the world is like, we have championships coming up. We are not going to play this one. We're going to play the old one.
I want to ask a devil's advocate / total ignoramus question, because I have played Counter-Strike, but not in literally over a decade. So Counter-Strike's a game that's been around for 15 years?
Something like that.
Is that about accurate?
Yeah.
It is more or less an artistic science of balance and shooter perfection.
Yep.
Or has been up to this point. Why, did it even Are they breaking what? Are they fixing what wasn't broken here? Do you think, Sean?
Oh, absolutely. So that was kind of the point with the rifles, is that core to the gameplay of Counter-Strike is the ability to shoot the rifles as effective as you can. That means learning spray patterns, learning recoil, learning burst patterns, all of that stuff. And they changed those guns. Like, they made them less accurate while crouching. They've increased the amount of time it takes for your aim to return to normal after bursting or moving or crouching or something like that. These are all changes that literally had that wasn't breaking the game at all. Like, riflers were riflers and they were good, and that was it. Like, you just had to be good at those guns. The pistol nerf, which is they also nerf.
Yeah, so it increases the move inaccuracy on all the pistols. So if you're
all pistols now
walking, you have double the inaccuracy.
Yeah, that was actually a nerf that I saw coming, because pistols had always been in Counter-Strike Go just a little too strong, where if you were a really good team and you had good tactics and communication, you could eco the other team even if they had better guns, just by virtue of positioning and stuff.
You don't need to worry about that enemy shotgun because you're fine.
And a lot of the pros, and that's one thing I give Counter-Strike a lot of props for, is Counter-Strike has from the very beginning always been balanced around the pro level players. Like, that's like that game and StarCraft and I guess Warcraft 3.
And most MOBAs are kind of tuned for the top 1%.
Exactly, which is how it should be in a competitive skill-based shooter. But these are things that even the pros didn't seem to have problems with. Rifles, pistols, they all kind of agreed that were a little bit too strong. But why nerf a whole bunch of pistols and then throw in this other pistol?
Well,
that's
it's funny too,
way
because
better.
after this patch notes, all the pros are tweeting at each other like, well, I guess now's as good a time to retire as any.
Yeah, seriously.
People are really down on this.
It's really kind of an unbelievable thing. And I just, I played a couple matches here today at work, and we lost, 3-11 on CT side of Mirage, which is a CT-sided map, by the way, and we were down big time. But because Ts have a tactical advantage, since they know where CTs will most likely be defending, now you can peek with this revolver and one-shot oppers from, the distance of the map. That's the thing, is, with the left click, the primary functionality on the R8, you can do full damage, 100 damage, and more
from
if it's a headshot.
Really impressive range.
From 2,500 units, which is the distance from Counter-Strike players. This is a little inside baseball. The distance on Dust 2 from Pit to Goose, which is the longest distance in the game, or from Lower A on Mirage to the telephone booth. That's 2,500 units, and that is sniper rifle damage with sniper rifle accuracy. And
I was
you
pulling
can move
off
while do it.
insane stuff with this pistol.
You can move, strafing back and forth. So that's the other thing. Like I said, they nerfed all of the pistols' move inaccuracy, which means now when you're strafing, they're all doubly inaccurate as they used to be.
But this doesn't seem affected by this at all.
But not that pistol. It's perfectly accurate.
And the strafe accuracy on this thing is insane. The movement accuracy is really
incredible, man. I haven't seen backlash like this since riot shields were implemented in 1.6 or whatever patch that was, 1.5 back in the day. That was another similar thing that just broke the game. And I mean, it's super tough. So in competitive, a lot of people are using it right now at really, really high skill levels. If you miss that first R8 shot, you can still, I wouldn't call it, a lot of people are calling it game breaking or literally ruining the game. I'm not quite sure it's entirely to that level, because here's the thing is, if you're a really, really good player, if that person misses their shot, you should be able to kill them before they can get the second shot off. Because it fires really slow.
The charge is a long enough time to pull the trigger back and earn that accuracy as it dwindles to the center of the crosshair, that you're going to get punished if you miss.
Exactly.
But it's not long enough that you're going to
if you
not
don't
equip
miss
that gun.
But if you don't miss, exactly. So I wouldn't call it quite game breaking, but it does certainly change the fundamental way you play the game. So the meta is entirely different. Eco rounds are now different. Your economy management in general is different. You can play much more aggressively now as a T if you have that gun.
So let's look at this optimistically, because I think the gun is cool. I like using it. I think people are obviously enjoying using it because everybody I'm playing with and against is using the R8.
It's like a Desert Eagle from hell, basically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's a fun weapon. I like that it has modular fire. I like that there is a risk to using your standard right click with decreased accuracy but high power. I like that a lot. I like that there's a risk to committing to the charge shot, and that it also has really high power. Obviously, you balance that out, you make it better and less totally overpowered, and that'll be ideal. But I like it as a concept, and I like what it means for the future of Counter-Strike, which I hope means more weapons with variable fire, updates to existing weapons maybe you didn't think that they needed it. Like, I like the idea that you could maybe change fire rates or, the way a weapon interacts with another player based on left or right click. Because right now, and this is obviously what Counter-Strike has been good at, is it's a hip-fire game. It has always been a hip-fire game. And I think that it should stay that way. And it does with the R8. The R8 doesn't change that.
We have enough ADS games.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Counter-Strike special. But I think if you're going to modify weapons, whether existing or new, to have this kind of effect, there's something really promising there. And I hope that we see Valve start to tinker with it. And if it doesn't work, mission abort. But I like that Valve is trying to shake up Counter-Strike in a major, major way.
Yeah, and I mean, they're kind of 0 for 2 as far as implementing guns go recently. Like, they screwed the pooch with the CZ as well back when they implemented it. It was another pistol that was wildly overpowered when they first implemented it, but eventually got nerfed, and now it is usable but not overpowered, which is fine. And I eventually imagine that's what will happen to the R8. And I, too, like you, am on board with them adding guns and kind of having the game evolve, because at one point there wasn't an op. At one point there wasn't a non-silenced M4, there was a whole kinds of different changes that have made the game over time into what it is now. But part of me can't understand how you didn't understand that it's so overpowered in playtests before the patch goes live. Like, it's almost as egregious as like they didn't test it at all.
Which is, coming back to that conspiracy theory, maybe it's intentional.
Yeah, and
it is intentional. Like, regardless of what the intent is, there is intent behind this. This is not an accident. This gun does not exist this way by accident.
Yeah, like, it was designed this way and implemented this way, and some people think that it was done so in order to distract people from the nerfs that didn't really need to be in there. Things like the rifle nerf, round timers, C4 timer, all of that stuff, which in matchmaking has always differed from the competitive scene, like the actual pro leagues, just by a little bit, but now they're kind of trying to unify it. But that changes the way it all works. Now teams have to kind of tweak their strats in order to be most efficient. And that's kind of, I don't know, none of that stuff was broken. And it boggles my mind, because over the past 2 years, we've seen Counter-Strike's popularity literally skyrocket.
It's huge.
And it's like,
growing so fast.
What better way to throw that off than to ruin it by doing something like that, by implementing an R8 or changing the way the game is played at the pro level.
Or to throw it in to get more attention and then fix it to make you look like a real good guy.
A lot of people on Reddit are pointing that out too. That
there's so many conspiracy theories. It's amazing.
Like, today is when
maybe they just goofed. Maybe they just made a mistake.
I mean, I'm sure they did. Like, they thought riot shields were a good idea too, and they were terrible.
I mean, it's all about experimentation. You can only find out if something is as flawed as you worry it is if you throw it in the wild and people go, "This is as flawed as you think it is."
Yeah, but it's true. But at the same time, it's like, that your game is popular because a lot of people really, really love the high skill, like low randomness aspect of it. So let's throw a gun in there that takes no skill. Like, as long as you can hit them, they're
funny
dead.
Because it's like it's no skill with right click and a little bit of skill with left click.
Yeah, especially depending on the distance. But it's
like
crazy, man.
Pure RNG on the right click.
Yeah, and it does so much damage. It's ridiculous. There should be no. The only guns that can one shot in the game prior to the implementation of the R8 was the AWP, the AK. Sure. If it was a headshot, and even if they have a helmet, and then the M4 can one-shot headshot if they don't have a helmet. It takes 2 shots if they have a helmet.
Okay.
So only 3 guns. All of them are rifles, and all of them are the ones that if you want to play Counter-Strike competitively, you have to be able to use those guns.
And I like the idea of having a heavy-duty hand cannon that does that.
Yeah.
But man, and something's got to give.
Yeah, or it should have 1 bullet. That's what it should be, the golden gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, like the taser.
I think 8 is a lot of bullets, and I think the reload time is too fast.
8 is a lot of bullets.
You just pop that thing out, you put the bullet back, like it's like a preloaded.
Well, that's the thing, is like you can come around a corner and you can shoulder peek someone, and they know you're going to come out again, but you know where they are. But your gun can one-shot them, and they can't one-shot you. So it's like, it gives you a huge advantage. Spread. Yeah, exactly, man. Oh, it's such a bummer, dude.
It's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks to see how like pros react to this and how it changes and what Valve does to it.
I mean, I have a feeling like this will be nerfed in a week. 1 week.
Well, we'll see you back on IGN Overclocked next week.
Yeah.